on this building of homes, there was an OBR report that said if we build the 1.5 million homes that the Labour government has targeted, the decrease in the house price that would produce would be about 1%. It was about 0.8%. It would shave maybe a few grand off the average house price. So people are like, it's not that we need more, it's that we need to make sure that people don't have second homes and Airbnbs and landlords. But the amount of landlords in the market since 2016 has been decreasing every year. Why have prices not fallen then?
Because it's completely different dynamics. We've got the same number of rental properties today, not proportional, the same number as we had in 2015. And the population's like 4 million more than it was in 2015. So you've got we should have far more rental supply in theory, which is probably one of the reasons why rents have gone up. But to answer your question, I think what's often missed is that the way that rents are priced and the rent market works and the way that the house price market works are different. So we've been talking about rents in terms of supply and demand, which is like pretty simplistic, but it kind of holds. Like if you've got more people wanting to rent, then you've got properties to rent, prices will rise unless you cap them and then there's a shortage. Pretty basic. And I think people assume that the home buying market works the same way, but it doesn't because of mortgages, because of borrowed money. So prices will always rise based on people's ability to pay. So if you suddenly magicked up all these extra properties, what would probably happen is the prices of those would, unless you end up with a gigantic surplus, prices are going to rise to the point that people can afford, which is why one of the big factors of house prices going up so much over the last 20 years has been the fact that you can get mortgages, owner-occupier mortgages with smaller deposits for longer terms. More people are buying jointly, so it's done based on joint income, so you can borrow more. All these factors mean that people are borrowing more money. Then interest rates went down, so like, great, now you can borrow even more. Now they've gone back up again, but still. So you've got because people can borrow more, houses are naturally priced based on people's ability to pay, which is based on mortgages. And that's why I think it seems intuitive to go like, oh, well, if you just build loads more, that'll solve the problem. But actually it won't unless you go to like some extreme flooding of the market with property.
Yeah. You saw that with stamp duty in COVID where they did the cuts and the house prices just went up by basically the amount multiplied by the affordability. Because if you say 5 grand, you can afford 50 grand extra purchasing price because it's like 10% deposit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we just saw the house prices go crazy because of the stamp duty.
Yeah. So that's why it's like that. I think that is the factor that people miss the most. It's the borrowing point. It's based on ability to pay. It's if the Bank of England did a report where like for all the price increase in property since I think 2000, they attributed 10% of that increase to buy-to-let activity. So not zero, it's something, but it's not the majority of it. And I think you can get the impression that if you just did away with buy-to-let and second homes and everything else, then prices would halve. But that's not going to be the case.
Are you saying then if we built 2 million homes, it wouldn't impact prices because people would still need the ability to borrow to buy those houses?
Yeah, and I think but you need to be able to borrow, and if you can borrow, then it just supports current prices. And so prices are just going to be like the way to make prices fall is to cap borrowing more stringently, or say you need bigger deposits, you need shorter terms, whatever it is. That would make
it harder to buy them.
Yeah, that
makes the prices.
That would make house prices fall, but no one wants to do that.
No one wants to hear that. Like the answer is not helping you save; it's make it harder for you to.
Yeah. But then you get into this like really. You get to this really awful intergenerational inequality. I can't say that. You get to this real intergenerational inequality where, because now you've got like a third of homes, I think in total, are owned outright, so no mortgage. And so they're going to get passed on to kids at some point. So like great for them, not so great if you're not in that situation. Already, if you can get help from your parents with your deposit or whatever, that puts you in a position to buy it and someone else isn't. So it's like, it just becomes more and more entrenched over time. And also because you've got all these people who have benefited from this like weird blip when house prices went crazy for all these reasons we've gone through, then now, like politically, they do not want to see house prices fall. No government truly, really wants to see house prices fall. We are, as a country, far too, I think, over-invested in property. So much lending goes to mortgages rather than anything productive. But you're in this situation now. And to get out of it is so politically and realistically painful. I don't know how you do it.
I was about to say, can we get out of it? Because if these people, or the boomers are passing on their houses to their children. Those children might sell, but realistically, they might pass it on to their children. Is this just how we are as a country forever? Or is there anything that can change it?
I don't know. I do think that I do think we have to look at what happened in the 90s and 2000s as a weird period. So like your kind of price to earnings ratio went from, it doubled or did whatever it did. That doesn't mean it's going to keep happening. It doesn't mean houses are going to keep growing far above wages, inflation, anything else. I think that happened. It was for reasons, and those reasons aren't going to be repeated. So what we've seen now is over the last few years, house prices have got more affordable relative to incomes and everything else, because they've basically gone sideways when everything else has gone up. So I don't think it's going to get more and more extreme from here in terms of house price growth. I don't think we're going to see more crazy booms, but I don't know how you get from here back to there, and I don't know how you sort out the individual inequality piece.
Yeah, because the political will is important, right? Because the biggest voters are the people with housing wealth and with state pensions. If you look at the activities that we protect pension purchasing power through the triple lock. We protect homeowners through, not rolling out shitloads of homes to fix the supply issues or whatever, and because they vote.
And what you do, like, as soon as you try to change anything, people get upset about it. Like Labour tried to get rid of the winter fuel allowance, which is kind of small fry in the scheme of things, the grand scheme of things, and they had to go back on it or water it down or do whatever they're doing. So imagine trying to change something like massive, like we're talking about here.
And the saddest thing is as well, the people that would be punished the most would be the people that just bought homes. So, people that scrapped and scraped to get on the housing ladder would fall into negative equity if there was a big sharp correction in house prices. Because it's always the people who've just bought, right? The people who've got all this equity, it was worth $500,000, now it's worth 400 grand.
Oh, well.
Bad, but
Exactly. Which is why I think people think they want a crash, but they don't really want a crash, because, like you say, it's the people who are in the most vulnerable situation because of the stage they're at who get hit the most, and everyone else go, great, I can buy now. Oh no, I can't. There's no lending.
That was a clip from our full-length episode with Rob Dix. To watch the full thing, click right here.